Today, I'm bringing you along as I spend 24 hours in Bryce Canyon National Park. We're starting with the incredible scenic drive and its stunning viewpoints, and then continuing on with what I would consider the top can't-miss hike of the entire park. It requires a little planning, but the end of winter is one of the best times to visit. Let's jump in. Okay, I'm officially in Bryce Canyon now. I just stopped at the visitor center to get a map and to ask about the trail and the road conditions. So the winter roads are still closed, unfortunately, and they let me know that the two hikes I want to do are 4 to 5 hours each, and it's best done first thing in the morning when the mud is still frozen. Otherwise it's just like red, muddy slush. The other thing to do in the park is this long, I think it's an 18-mile drive all the way to the far, I think it's the southern point, and then all along are a bunch of like vistas and viewpoints. Since it's already after 3 o'clock, I'm just gonna do the scenic drive today, so that's where I'm driving down right now, is just driving down this main road. I'm gonna stop at all these vista points and just kind of scope out the park and have a nice leisurely day, rest my legs, and then I'm gonna tackle those two hikes tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to get into the park really early. Hopefully the roads are good and not too sketch. One of them is the Fairyland Loop, which is 8 miles. Not sure if I'm gonna do the whole thing just because I feel like it's not as nice as the other one. And then the Figure 8 Loop is the one that I'm more interested in. So tomorrow's my only chance to see other things in the park. And then I have to be at Zion bright and early Friday morning to get my permit to hike the Narrows. So a nice quick scoping out of the park this afternoon. Very relaxed day today for the most part, just a lot of driving. And then back to lots of hiking tomorrow. When doing the scenic drive, it's recommended to drive all the way to Rainbow Point at the end, then work your way back towards the north side of the park. This puts all of the stops on your right-hand side. Alright, this is the third lookout. This is Black Birch Canyon. So the first two are right at the end of the road. This one is between mile markers 16 and 17 on the 18-mile road. Let's take a look. Woo-wee! Wow. Ponderosa Point is named after the towering ponderosa pines on the canyon floor, some of them standing over 150 feet high. At Agua Canyon, I couldn't decide if I liked this view better or this one, which is definitely the more famous of the two. A fun fact about Natural Bridge is that it actually isn't a bridge, but rather an arch or a window, since it was formed primarily by the expansion of ice breaking off pieces of the rock. Wow, it's quite the view. Alright, so this is Piracy Point. This is half of the view. The other half is basically a better version of the view, a far view. So check that out. The pathway between these two viewpoints, or at least the path to get to Piracy Point, is this trampled out little path in the snow. Thankfully it's really short, but oh, it is so cold. My hands are finger popsicles. No sign here, but this is Swamp Canyon. Wow. Now that is a classic Bryce Canyon view, if I do say so myself. The final 3 miles on the north side of the drive are home to the iconic Bryce Amphitheater, which contains most of the park's famous hikes and incredible views of the densely packed hoodoos. Here, you'll find 4 of the most scenic viewpoints: Sunset, Inspiration, Bryce Point, and Sunrise Point. Whoa! I think this is the last one for the day. Sunset and Sunrise Points were so named in an attempt to attract early visitors to these scenic points along the rim of Bryce Amphitheater. The park now reports that both are equally beautiful at sunrise and sunset. Final quick check-in before I set up camp for the night. So I just got back to my campsite, and this one is actually from Hip Camp. So I'll put the info in the description box if you're curious. The host has been more than helpful, absolutely amazing. So, and it's in a beautiful area really close to Bryce Canyon. So if you're interested, I will leave the info below. It's definitely gonna get really cold tonight. So I just picked a spot that's a little bit covered by trees, so I have some protection from the wind, and hopefully it's a little bit easier to boil water that way and to survive being outside. I'm debating having a campfire today. You know, a big part of why I like camping is of course the campfire and looking at the stars. It's a little bit different when you're by yourself. I've never gone camping by myself and made a campfire, but maybe today's the day. I've kind of just been setting up, making food, changing, and then immediately hopping into my sleeping bag for bed. It's about 6:15 now, time for me to make some food and buy some warm tea to warm up again. Good morning, it's Thursday the 10th and it's 7:10. I just got to Sunrise Point again, and oh my gosh, that was like quite a scary drive coming up here. The road is very snowy. It is getting plowed right now, I think, but yeah, I was definitely driving really slow, making sure I wasn't gonna slide off a ledge. I pretty much just got up and hopped right in the car. Well, I was already in the car, but hopped into the driver's seat this morning, started driving. So now I'm gonna change and pack up some snacks and water in a little backpack and then do the figure eight combo loop. It is very cold out there. It's like 20 degrees or so. So yeah, not looking forward to changing. So we're gonna see if I can find an open bathroom. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait there. All right, it's an hour later. It's now 8:25 and I'm finally at the trailhead and I think ready to go. The only thing is, it is kind of snowing and very, very low visibility. So I feel like the viewpoints aren't going to be that great. So now I'm wondering if I should just do part of the Fairyland loop first. Actually, let me check the weather. Because it really would suck to do the trails with like the best viewpoints and not be able to have any view. So that's where we're at. Weather's not loading, even though I have 2 bars. Okay, so I'm going to check the weather. I'm going to pack up my bag. I mean, I'm going to do some hiking and stuff anyway. All right, weather's not looking good. I kind of wish I did this hike yesterday, dang it, but it's definitely cloudy all day and it's supposed to snow from 10 to 2. The high today is 25 degrees and the low tonight is 6. So I'm scared. I think I'm just gonna... So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the figure eight loop like I had planned, and hopefully it doesn't snow too much because I don't want to get absolutely frozen and soggy, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna pack up my water, my little backpack, and hit the trail. Sunrise Point, once again. Quite a different scene today, but I think even more beautiful than yesterday. Alright, Queen's Garden, let's go. I wish I brought some trekking poles. I mean, I have a protein bar in my mouth, but wow. I really wish it was a clear sky day. Oh well. It's quite a steep descent. Just a few minutes in and I'm already amid the hoodoos. And it's cold. So I think I'm like the 3rd person, judging by the footprints, to do this trail today. For reference of how bundled up I am, it is around 20 degrees still. I'm wearing a long sports bra, a tank top, a long sleeve thermal, a long sleeve shirt, a crew neck sweatshirt, and then this snowboarding jacket. My hands are still cold, but honestly I feel pretty good. Sunrise Point. We're going Queen's Garden. Wow. Ooh. It is windy. We're about halfway down the Queen's Garden Loop, I think, so we're going to be connecting to the Navajo Loop for the first half of the top of the 8. Look, some deer sauntered over the trail and out into the wilderness. Well, this part of the trail is much less interesting. The first part was really great with all the hoodoos. This has just been through a snowy forest, which is also nice, but not as nice. I think I'm just about reaching the junction. Navajo Loop 2 bridges. Yep. So this and this are the Navajo Loop around here. The Wall Street side, unfortunately, is closed. Otherwise, I probably would have taken that. So I'm going to take the 2 bridges on the way back. But for right now, I gotta head down this little connecting path to get to the Peekaboo Canyon Loop. So I guess I'm about a quarter of the way done. I've done 1/2 of 1 loop on the figure 8. Do you see this? I've never seen this before. Never. That's so beautiful. I've been hiking for exactly an hour now, and I'm on just starting the Peekaboo Canyon Loop. It's back to uphill, so because it's at such high elevation, you just want to be sure to go extra slow, be cautious, because you will be really out of breath even if you're in shape. And I'm not even that in shape, but even like the downhill gets me out of breath, so definitely going really slow and careful, making sure I don't slip. I might pause halfway and have a little water break and just rest my legs. We'll see how I feel. I feel pretty good so far, but actually getting a little warm. But it's getting really pretty again, climbing out of the valley. See? Back to the hoodoos. One of my favorite Bryce Canyon fun facts is that it contains the largest concentration of hoodoos in the world, thanks to being situated in what's called the Goldilocks zone of elevation. The park experiences over 170 nights each year that have temperatures both above and below freezing, which is crucial to the formation of these extraordinary hoodoos. Wow. My hip camp host did say that the Peekaboo Canyon is the best trail in the park. So far, I think I'd have to agree. And I've just kind of started it. Filming on my phone again because my GoPro won't stay on, but the trail has a heck of a lot of up and down, so I keep going up thinking that I'm getting to a viewpoint, and then I dive back down into the canyon. But I mean, it's really nice and it's not too strenuous because it's cold out. But man, I just had the strongest craving for those Hawaiian chips, the sweet Maui onion ones that come in the purple bag. I wonder where the closest place is that I can get those. Man, that sounds so good right now. I'm back in like a forested area with all these hoodoos. It is so gorgeous and the snow is really coming down. Well, I made it to the other side of the loop. Check out this freaking view. See how windy it is? Alright, so we're here. We have 1.2 miles. I think this is just like 0.3 or 0.4, 0.6, so just about 2 miles left. Well, I did it. Just about back to my car. It took me about 3.5 hours, and I feel like I was going pretty slow. I didn't necessarily stop for breaks, but I stopped to take photos all the time. So yeah, 3.5 hours. I finished the figure 8 loop back at Sunset Point and decided to skip the fairy tale loop in favor of a couple other adventures outside the park. Hit the subscribe button to see where I went next and to catch the last leg of my solo Utah road trip in Zion National Park. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.